opening statements from each of you. I'm going to give you all, let's not go too long. It's a soundbite, but kind of give us a sense for your organization culturally and how you approach it. Go first. Here you go. Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I've only had one career in my entire life. My parents were car dealers. I met my husband at a car convention. I was running my parents' car dealerships, and Rick and I have been married 40 years, and we've built the business that we have today, the Rita Case Automotive Group. So I'm speaking from my experience, which is very limited to just the car industry. I've been a manager and operated dealerships, like I said, for over 40 years. And with that being said, we have 4 different businesses within a car dealership. So we have 4 separate business financial statements monthly within a single car dealership, because you have your parts, your service, your new and your used car sales. They have independent managers, independent associates, and an independent responsibility for results. Having a 4-year degree is not important in our industry, and we'll go into that, I'm sure, when you have the different questions. But I just wanted to speak to the fact that, the future, I believe, of the car business continues, as I've seen it over the last, 40 plus years, to have the education within the dealership opposed to being able to go outside and hire that skill level or that information that you need to be successful in our industry. Though a good education always helps, but traditionally it's happy people with a focus on the technical side as well that do well in our industry. So I'm the COO. I run the company. As far as the operational side of our business, we're $1.3 billion, and we're in 3 different states. We're operating in Ohio, in Atlanta, and here in Fort Lauderdale. Rick's side of the business, people always ask, well, Rick's side of the business is the entrepreneurial marketing and developing the different techniques that we can get customers to join and come and visit us to buy their cars.
We're not going to applaud after every statement that they make, so we can get through the questions. James?
But that was really good.
Yeah, that's good. So we just want to center on Rita for the rest of the morning here. James?
I got the bad spot here between Rita and the loquacious Heiko. So,
Is it on?
on, go, test.
Test.
Good morning. He's good. Good morning, everybody. Again, James Donnelly, founder and CEO of the Cass Group. We manage residential properties, apartments, condos, HOAs all across the state. And as Dan said, we have 750 employees now, teammates we call them. But what happens is, and we are hiring 50 people a month, and it sounds like a lot, and it is, by the way. But 25 of that is for growth, and 25 of it is for turnover. Just apply 15% turnover on that many teammates, and you've got 25 hires a month. So it's a big job. We're in a war for talent right now. I mean, look at the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance comes out with this report every month, and unemployment rate just keeps going down and down and down. So it's an appropriate time to be talking about pipelines for talent, because if you don't have it, you're in trouble. So it is a war for talent. I get people trying to get all our teammates every day, and I'm trying to get theirs, and it's not like this huge growing workforce. So that's, I think, what folks did on today is how do we grow the base. The other thing I would just open with is we look, if you want to know a company's strategy, look at its budget. Where are they allocating their funds? And if your budget doesn't support your strategy, then you're going to fail. And we looked at ours several years ago and said, do we have enough budget in talent acquisition? The answer was no. So the biggest one thing we've done in the last several years is to greatly expand the budget, the talent acquisition function in our company. And I'll dive deeper into that. But the last point I want to make kind of an opening remarks is the workforce is changing so much. I have teammates from 80 to 70, or 18 to 78, and that is an interesting new problem that I think we're going to talk a bit about then. So, to you, Heiko.
Thanks, James. First of all, I want to do a thank you to Dan and his leadership for the chamber. He's been doing a great job with this chamber, and the chamber is all about jobs. And for them to put together such a robust workforce development committee that keeps us on our toes and gives us the tools in order to think about out of the box is much appreciated. So Dan, thank you for your leadership, and also thank you to the Workforce Development Committee for all the work that they're doing. So great job on that. In my regards, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to start with a profound statement. I think the American dream is well and alive. And I mean this, and you may not think so, because there's a lot of fear out there. I think you can do whatever you want to do if you just set some energy towards it. And if you don't do that, you're not going to succeed. I love the fact that the chamber is getting to the parents, and that's the number one thing that we have to get to. If we don't get to the parents first, so that they can educate the kids and take charge of the kids, we're never going to be successful, and we're not going to have the talent pool that's out there. I'm kind of in a different industry than both of them. I'm in the hospitality industry, and I never thought I was going to be in the hospitality industry. Actually, I grew up in a small village in Germany, and forestry was our number one industry that we had. So I got a trade certification in forestry, or a lumberjack, and yes, timber all the way. But high school was actually a sport for me. You know, how many classes could I skip? I really was not somebody that enjoyed going to school, and I was just book smart. I enjoyed reading. And then I just showed up for the tests and took the test and then moved on, right? And then I came to the United States, and I fell in love with the States, and went to school, and eventually went to the University of Kansas. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, there's a Jayhawk. And I fell in love with academia. I just loved it. I thought it was great, the information that you just got out of the university, and how it molded you on so many ways. And it's funny how many people go to university, start with an idea of one college path, and then end up in something completely different. And that's what happened with me. I wanted to become a sports psychologist for tennis players, and I ended up working in the hospitality industry. So, and I realized that in my senior year that hospitality was it, because throughout my entire college career I worked. I had 3 jobs. Probably most funnest job that I had was cleaning silos in Kansas, and just being suspended in a harness and going inside the silos and cleaning them up. So we're going to get more into the depth of the topic, so I'm going to give this back to you.
Thank you, Heiko. I was about to say, time! One of the things that I'm hearing a lot about, and it wasn't important for me, and I always kind of try to think back as when I was kind of coming up through the ranks, but I didn't really care about culture all that much. I wanted a paycheck, and I wanted a job that was challenging. But I'm hearing that there's been a paradigm, and that culture trumps paycheck and trumps challenge. So talk to us about what you do culturally. We'll start with you, James, first. And how you build your culture. How important is it to your company, and how do you approach it?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. You know, everyone in this room, every business that you have has a culture. The question is, did you choose it? And so we were very deliberate. Go on our website, you can literally see we created a constitution for our company, and we literally use it to interview our teammates. So there's a certain type of person that works at our firm, and you know it the moment you walk in. Secondly, you need a great culture to attract in this war for talent, to create that pipeline. So we put a lot of energy into being a best place to work, and we're year after year named one of the best places to work. That is a strategic decision because we want to attract people, and we're not the highest paying industry in the world. So people like to work, especially these younger generation, they like to work in places they like to work. And then finally, what is your physical plan? Does your physical plan reflect the culture you want? So, you know, we just did a complete renovation, and if you walked into our office a year ago and today, you'd think we now only employ millennials because, you know, it's got the cafe and the massage chair and all that stuff, which is, I would have said it was crazy a couple years ago, but apparently it's a good thing. So I think the bottom line on your culture is, if you're not deliberately defining your own culture to what you want, to attract the team you want, then you have a lot of opportunity ahead of you.
It's interesting what James is saying, because in essence he's talking about people, right? And our company's family owned and operated since 1935 by the same family. So we chose culture, and we chose the path that we were going to go with our culture, and our culture is family. And what is family actually? Family is people. And so it's truly people over profits. If you take a look at your P&L, have you ever determined whether your labor line is a line item or an investment? Well, we treat it like an investment. Because if you think about it, bricks and mortars is one thing. But when you take a look at the people that make that building or that street or that company come alive, it's not how flashy the building looks or how cool the space is. It's the people that put the energy into it. I mean, did you feel her? When she stood up and with her wonderful humor that she brought forth, I watched all of you guys, you all lit up, right? And that's the special magic that really attracts people to your business. If you have the ability to light people up, that's really what makes the difference. You did a great job. You have amazing energy, you know. And I don't know you from Adam, but that's what it's all about, and that's really the core to it.
So I agree with everything that they said. I think that those are all foundations that you need to have a successful culture in your business. Our business is very competitive. We're all recruiting the same exact talent, whether it's automation, whether it's Ed Morris, whether it's whatever the other car dealerships are. We all need that same talent. We all run our businesses similarly. And so what we've done in our company for many years is we've created a culture within our company that Rick and Rita Case care about you. We care about every single person in our company. Everybody knows Rick and Rita Case. We want them to work with us, not for us. We want them to know that we care about their family, that their community is our community. We work hard for their community. We want to stand up and be different than the competition that we have for the same employment pool. Our culture has always been since 1980, and I brought our book because our culture has always been the same. Our customers are friends, and that's how we have built our company with our associates. If you treat every single customer as you would your best friend, you're going to have a successful business. And we feel that same way about our associates, and we make it perfectly clear to them that ASI is more important to us than CSI. And if you're in the car business, you know what CSI means, Customer Satisfaction Index. It's what we're rated on by the manufacturer. It is the most critical percentage number that we're rated on as a car dealership. Not how many we sell, but how our customers feel about our brand and on us. ASI is Associate Satisfaction Index. And we have used SurveyMonkey. We've used all different kinds of ways to make sure that our associates believe in us. Our pipeline is our associate promotions. That's where we're most successful at growing our business from one dealership to 16 in 3 different states, is using our current associates and promoting from within. We'll probably be getting into that. But our culture is about being different than the other dealerships in our competitive market and supplying our associates. We're all expected to have benefits and good compensation and fair compensation. Listen, our compensation in our business may be different than theirs, but it's standard. Technicians make this, salesmen make this, service advisors are paid this, it's 100% commission. That's not what we're competing on, is different compensation. We're competing on, do they love where they work, do they feel that they're cared about, and do they see a career path for themselves?
I was thinking as you were talking, Rita, and many of you know this, but some of you may not. I know Roy Rogers knows this from up in Pompano, but Habitat for Humanity, Rick and Rita Case, have really pioneered what is a community up there, and I believe it's called the Rick Case community. How come he gets all the front line stuff? And when I
You
think
know those guys and their ego.
exactly. But so if you go up to Pompano and you see this entire community that Rick and Rita have really laid out to help pave the way for the future of families who ordinarily wouldn't be able to get into a home. Now they have this through Habitat for Humanity and Rick Case community up there. And I'm going to call it the Rita Case community since Rita's here. But so if I was going to interview for a job, if I wanted to sell cars, I would be horrible at it, by the way. But if I wanted to sell cars, and I knew that the Rick Case Communities was there, and I saw that they're leading by example and that what they do. So what these folks want is a little specifics about your culture and what you do. And I remember I was at the executive briefing breakfast for the Heart Walk, Heart Challenge, and this week, and Rick, and you were there, and you talked about what you do health-wise for your employees. So it could be something that you do health-wise. Tell me a little bit more about that health program that Rick was talking about, if you wouldn't.
Well, sure. And you all probably have it within your health provider that provides health insurance for your associates. You just got to push them to give the support so that they can come and have wellness programs within your company. And we do a lot of wellness programs for our company. It's a benefit that comes with our health insurance if you ask for it. There's a lot of those things that does that. But, you know, one of the many things that we do differently in our company is to retain our employees. That's the key to our business. We do not have the turnover that James is experiencing because our company, or should I say our business, is more career path oriented. People, we hire very slow. You know, there's three main things that we believe retains people in our company. You know, one is morale. You gotta have amazing morale in your company. So we do things that none of the other dealerships do. We have a company ring program for longevity. Most car dealerships don't have longevity, so they don't even have a ring. You know, we have we have a company newsletter, we have recognition, we have monthly kickoff meetings. Rick and I send a birthday card to every single associate. We have just so many things like that that sets us apart. We also hire very slow. Very slow. We have a deliberate process for hiring. We have an HR department that we've developed about 15 years ago when we realized that, hey, we need a structure for hiring people. We need a structure for communicating with our associates. And so we've done that to keep people in our company so that they don't leave. We hire slow. We hire the people that we believe are the profile for our business. Every single person, whether they're a part-time receptionist at night or whether they're a porter cleaning the cars, we hire them we see them as running the dealership, or we see them as running the service department. And we make sure that that's the direction they're going. We don't hire people that are going to school part-time to be a nurse or to be an electrician, you know, or to be something else. Sure, there's a possibility we could change their mind, but it's highly unlikely. We also don't hire people that are career something else and they just want to use us for a paycheck until they find to get back into their industry. So hire slow. Pick people that you feel are going to be the next leaders of their department in 10 years, 5 years, 15 years. Take time to have other people interview everyone that's hired, because otherwise the people in your company that are trying to fill that spot, they go gut feeling, oh, this guy's going to work, I just know what I need somebody right now. You know, and you find out that creates turnover. And the other thing that we do to keep retention is we have career pathing. We have structured career pathing so that each of our associates that have been with the company for 3 years or longer are met with by our HR department and we're discussed about their career. What are they seeing? Because in our particular business, we're all commissioned, like I was saying. So a department head doesn't want to see his associate move to another department in our company, in the dealership. So they kind of protect them because they're commissioned and the person's successful. So we have to use our HR department. We use our HR department to meet with every associate at 3 years and say, how do you see your career? Well, I've been over here as, you know, a technician, but I really want to work as a service advisor. I've been a service advisor. I really want to go and be a car salesperson. And we career path everyone. So they're all seeing the future with us, not doing like they may be stuck in one department within our business. So that's what we do for culture.
Yeah, I'll try and, you know, expand because a lot thought about it, I'll probably do the same thing, but the bottom line on culture is people that work for you want to feel valued. They want to know that the owner and the management company value what they do. So we do a lot in our company about valuing. So for instance, the first thing I do every morning is send my birthdays. I have 1,700 teammates, and you'd think that's not much, but they all think it's automatic, it comes out by a computer, which it doesn't. So they'll write me back and say, okay, thank you, and then I'll write them back again. They realize it's not computer driven. Every Friday night, we stand at the front door and thank every teammate as they do for their work that week. We have employee appreciation nights. We have activities through the day. As much as the physical plant is the people part, everything that we did deliberately, so it was a more enjoyable place to work. And then one of the more late things we've done is we used to be quite rigid in kind of our working environment. You know, we have to serve communities, we have to have people there, but we've really introduced a lot of flexibility for our teammates so that they can live the life that they want to live and still get all the outcomes that we want. So flexibility, especially with this younger workforce, has been super important. But I think the most important single thing is to value each teammate and their go home tonight and say, you know what, James Donnelly, by the way, names, it's getting tough for me, but I mean, if I go to a property, I get on an email from my assistant saying what the names of everyone on that property are with their pictures so that I can come in and say, Mason, how are you doing? Like, how did James Donnelly know my name? So those are some of the things we've done to manage our culture. Heiko?
So we do it a little bit different. We have spies at Rita Case and at Castle Group, and whatever they do, we steal and use all of that, what they do. But I think the point that I want to make, number one, you have to have a strategy in place. If you don't write down your strategy, it doesn't exist. You can talk as much as you want, but if you don't have strategy in place, it's not going to happen. I believe in a flat culture. Not a horizontal culture. 90% of all the companies that you will work with have probably a pyramid type of strategy where they have the president and the executive committee, the division heads, the department heads, the managers, the supervisors, and the staff. And usually what the top says about it will do, right? I haven't worked in that environment for 27 years because I don't believe in it. I believe that you need to be on the grounds with the people, for the people, about the people. And at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you do the same thing to every employee as they get started. So the first thing on day one that they get is a job description. And it's your responsibility to make sure that they're getting trained and they're going to get the know-how, what is expected. Then you have to give them the ownership. You have to pass the torch. We actually give them a tattoo of our company. I'm just kidding, it's a joke. But we actually let them take ownership over their job description. Now you know as much as I do, every employee will do what? They will make mistakes, right? Don't ridicule them. Retrain them. Help them, invest in them, right? At the end of the day, when that curveball is coming, they should take that glove of ownership and grab it and turn it into an opportunity. If your company just does those two things, allow the employees to take ownership over their jobs and create opportunities, you create ovations. Ovation is a celebration of success, but both of them were actually talking about celebrating the staff, right? Recognizing them, awards programs. That is going to be important. If you have those three components humming, you will have a successful company and you will attract talent actually to your business. So that's my thought.
So last question, then I'm going to open it up to the group here, so be thinking if you have any questions. Is how do you interact with FAU, NSU Florida, the technical colleges, the high schools, middle schools? Talk to me a little bit about your outreach.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure the reason that I was selected today was because of our relationship with McFadden and Sheridan.
The hats.
Oh, that was, and so, yeah, we're very much involved because our industry needs that talent. That's where we need for our automotive service departments and parts departments. That's where we get our talent from. And so we want those kids that are going there on their own, that have decided, hey, I want to work on cars, I want to work with parts, I want to do that. And so we go there, and that is a very much important part for us. We don't hire a lot of young people. When I say that, I mean like 16, 17. We don't hire in that age, maybe, Jim does because of the type of work that he's entry level. But in the car dealership, you've got driving, it's just a lot of liability. And so car dealerships traditionally do not have that entry-level high school position. Now, we do have some of that with the Cypress Creek High School, and because they're right next door to our main dealerships, and so we do internships and things like that for filing, that kind of thing. But really, our business doesn't have a lot of entry-level positions, so the technical schools are super important to us. And then also the other side of our business is the sales side. And that takes a different kind of personality. And what we do there is we're always looking we send our recruiting staff, our HR department out to the mall, like Sawgrass Mall, to different malls. And they go from business to business. And they go in like they're going to buy shoes, like they're going to buy a dress, like they're going to buy jewelry. And they come up with the young lady that's here in the front row. They spark right away. You know a personality. We believe you hire for personality and you can train any skill. So that's how we hire on our sales staff, which is, over 50% of our company is sales oriented. And then of course, we have the technical side to work on the cars. But we hire for personality. We can train anybody the skill to sell because of all the tools that we have. So we go out and we recruit them from the malls and things where these young adults are, and you can tell right away a personality, like you pointed out.
Yeah, what I would add to that, Rita, first of all, I see a lot of people in the room that sometimes don't even know what assets are already in the county. I'm going to base it with CareerSource, the tech colleges, FAU. So there are incredible roads. You want to get a pipeline, just use the assets that are already in our community. The other thing I want to mention before I explain our program we have with NSU is we're always recruiting. You want a pipeline? We were at a restaurant, I won't name which one because we took their server. And she now works. I mean, when you get it wasn't called Wild Sea or something, but anyways, you should always be recruiting. Doesn't matter where you are. Have your cards ready. So here's what we did. There's a huge shortage of property managers. They're building Florida's first or second fastest growing state. Broward County's on fire. They're putting up buildings faster than we can create property managers. What are we going to do about it? So we went to NSU, I think a business school, and said, we would like you to start a property management program. And this is a big change in higher education, right? You go to any university 10 years ago and say, we'd like you to change your programming for us, you would be out completely. Now all of a sudden enrollment's going down and they're much more receptive to tailoring their curriculum. However, they don't have any money, so they said, James, we love your idea. This is how much it's going to cost, which was a lot of money. Please write checks. So we did. And there's now a property management minor at the business school at NSU. And by the way, it's not exclusive to us. My competition can come and hire from that as well. I'm trying to encourage them to help us fund it. But we guarantee every one of them a CASA Group scholarship and every one of them a job opportunity, so an internship. And then almost always the internship turns into full-time employment. So think about that. It was an investment, but now we have in Broward County, if you're in our business, a property management minor, I think it's the first one in the state, and a new pipeline for our firm. And you tie that to internships, and it's a nice new pipeline for us.
Is that in the Terry Stiles Real Estate School?
It's actually not. Terry Stiles School, which was named last year, of course, is more on the development side. So.
Okay, thanks. Heiko?
Well, I have a saying, you either can sit at the table or be on the menu. It's your choice, right? At the end of the day, well, we put a goal out for Rita never to come to our property, and she has never seen our sales department. She would probably take my entire sales team out there. But really what it's all about is you have to build the relationships. Most property owners and property and business folks are lazy socks. They only think within their own parameters, and they think by getting a job or filling jobs actually is just post something on Indeed.com. That is just not working any longer. If you don't build a relationship with CareerSource Broward, then you don't have a relationship with the funnel of a company that actually helps you find talent. If you don't build a relationship with the high schools and schools that we have actually Strand High School coming to our property today. We have 30 students coming, and we're going to do a shadow day with them, right? And we're going to divvy them up. They go in different departments. We have some students that actually like social media and marketing, so they're going to be with our social media and marketing team. We have some that love culinary, they're going to be with our culinary team. We have some that are great at customer service, so they're going to work at the reception. So if you don't start in the high schools already early and adopt a high school, you're already missing out, because at the end of the day, what do most of the students now they want, right? Technology, technology, technology. I want to get some kind of a techie type of a job. But if you don't open their eyes that there's other opportunities to the American dream, you know, you're missing out. And then, you know, you go to the technical colleges. You build a relationship with them, because a lot of our jobs is we actually need that skilled trade certification or the trade skill type of labor in our hotels. And then you go to the universities, you build a relationship with FAU, they have a fantastic hospitality program, and if you do not get married to the director of the hospitality program, you're not going to go anywhere. At the end of the day, you have to build those relationships, you know, and that's going to be important. I leave you with one final thought. My grandfather always said, it's very important what you know. It's more important who you know, but it's most important who wants to get to know you.